Hello again, yes, it's metjeffuk.com with my first update on the coming summer forecast. We're going to be looking at really May on this video and a little sneak preview into June. Now, if you regular followers of me, you'll know that I've did a long-range forecast for the spring and summer on, I think it was the 7th of March this year. And I said it would be a much colder spring than normal with quite a bit of snow, especially over the high ground. And as we all know, that is more or less been spot on. So I'm quite pleased with that. Not everyone will be pleased with it, of course, especially farmers and growers who rely on the warmer temperatures for farming and whatnot. But we do get occasionally some very cold weather in spring, so it's not that unusual. But what has the rest of this month got in store? Well, I think we've got to look at, incidentally, I'll just show you what I was predicting for the end of April, well, basically the first week in May. This is from my long-range forecast, which is still available, of course, on my website. And low pressure I was predicting to coming off Atlantic, this then sinking down into the Bay of Biscay, and that would encourage high pressure to build to the northeast and turn things a little bit unsettled in the southwest. Yeah, we'll show you that one in a minute. Sunspots at the moment, we've got one or two sunspots occurring at the moment, but nothing to get too excited about. It's sunspots are still very low, and they are predicted to be low for some considerable time yet. So that's nothing to worry about. This is the SST, or the surface sea temperatures around the world, and we can see that around the Pacific now it's beginning to cool off quite a bit, with an El Nino and taking place. Colder waters over the British Isles. Now this is going to encourage high pressure to build to the north, with low pressure maybe forming to the south. And this is the 500 millibar mean temperatures from on the left hand side is the ECMWF and the right is the GFS, the European as opposed to the American, and they're both virtually in agreement. We're going to get ridging beginning to build to the north of the British Isles, with low pressure more likely to the south, and this is going to encourage the air to come off the continent, but cooler at times I think we can expect, and most of any rain looks like being in the south and west of Britain, and with the air coming off the continent we could get some thunderstorms mixed in with this rain. So what's in store? Well, this is from the GFS 500 mil, and basically we've got high pressure settling over the country, but there's that low pressure which I forecast would happen at the start of May, if you remember. There you are, that's what it's virtually the same as what's going to happen, so I'm pretty pleased with that. And it looks like this low pressure is going to sink itself down into the Bay of Biscay, whereas this high pressure is going to join forces with the Scandinavian highs, so higher than normal heights to the northeast, and this is going to encourage quite a bit of unsettled conditions over France, and with warmer air coming into the mix we can expect to see some really violent thunderstorms. So there goes your high pressure building to the east and then probably moving more to the north as we go through May. But so by the time we get to roughly about the 10th of May, we've got high pressure now really getting itself established over Scandinavia. The low pressure has been pushed down into the Algarve and Bay of Biscay, and that's never a good sign for us because it's going to drag up some quite warm air, but at the same time, of course, it's going to encourage thunderstorms to develop over the continent, and these will then move their way north. So there's our low pressure stuck right down here. I'm not going to go any far anywhere near very quick if I can get my teeth in. And we got high pressure out in the Atlantic, and it's sort of wedging this low pressure, stopping it from going anywhere really. So it's going to encourage the air to come up from the south and southeast. Now over Scotland, eastern England, or northeastern England, probably staying dry and sunny, and maybe a bit cold at night, but generally speaking it's going to be the best weather over most of May. With low pressure very close to the southwest, we can expect some periods of rain at times. Yeah, so if we want to look at the precipitation, as we say, if I can get the right chart up here. Where are we? Here we are. So basically, over the next 10 to 15 days, it looks like there's a high pressure beginning to build over Scandinavia, with low pressure coming into the southwest, and you see how it's been dragged up from the south all the time. So it's picking up some very moist and warm air, and it's generally quite thundery at times. And indeed, as we go through the rest of, if my computer can catch up, here we go. You can see we get bands of rain moving north from the south, and that really looks like what we're going to be getting through the rest of the month, with high pressure establishing itself to the north. So looking a little bit further ahead to mid-month, and signs that the low pressure will be forced into the continent, and that will give high pressure a chance to build. But this time the air is going to be coming around from the north, so temperatures beginning to drop as we go through towards the end of May. And indeed, although it's looking pretty settled, because the air is actually originating from the Arctic, we can expect some very cold nights still. And I would be surprised even of seeing some frost. So daytime temperatures by the time we get May look like being around about sort of high teens, maybe 20s. As you can see here, 18 is roughly about 64 degrees Fahrenheit. And this continues on really to the end of the month, where we'll see this is nighttime temperatures with just above freezing, so a touch of frost quite possible as we go towards the end of the month. And then back to that chart I was showing you, but a little brief mistake there. Early June looks like we're going to get higher pressure smack bang over the country, and this in turn is going to be dragging out very warm air from the south. So I think, as in my long range forecast, original forecast from the 7th of March, I think we're going to start to see a very warm and settled summer, but again with the chance of some thunderstorms. I'll be giving you another update probably in about 2 or 3 weeks time, but keep coming back to my website at metjeffuk.com, and thanks for watching. Hope it's been a bit of informative to you, a bit of insight to what we can expect. Let's hope the sun does shine for you, but whatever your weather, enjoy it.